Hi, and welcome to Elena Does Audio Stuff. Hey, in this tutorial, I will show you how to create amazing rhythmic patterns, glitches, stutter effect, sidechaining effect using Ableton Live's Shaper tool. We're also going to put it into a rack, and you can use this technique and this rack in your music production as well as live performances. Also, I'm happy to tell you that this video is sponsored by Output. So they have amazing sample-based plugin called Arcade. So it pairs up perfectly with the Shaper tool, and I will show you in a minute why, because it sounds really cool. Okay, let's get into it. Let's get going. So we have chord progression. We have bass, and then we have drums. And these are from the original Tea and Milk track. Okay, what we're gonna do first is go to the chord progression and add a shaper to it. If we go and look for shaper, we have shaper MIDI and we have shaper audio. So if we go and just add a shaper, you can see that that's how it looks like. Because this is a Max for Live device, you do need to have Ableton Live Suite for this. So what does it do? The easiest way to show this is with a auto filter. So we have a filter frequency that we can modulate with a certain shape. So auto filter, let's put that there. And you can see that now we have this type of shape. We can change it if we want to. So there's presets on the bottom here, different shapes, and snap means that we can easily then snap breakpoints into the grid. On the right side of here, we have the rate of the shape. Does it go whoom, 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 or whoom, 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 whoom? You know what I mean? We can also have it as a hertz, so it's a bit more customizable if you like. We can also add jitter to it, which adds kind of a random value shape to it. And you can see almost how the curve or the shape of the signal is changed when we add some smoothness or where we add jitter. Woo, it gets all crazy there. We also have the depth, so it's almost like how much do we want to add for it. We can also add phase, the retrigger. So what this offset does is that it shifts the center point of the LFO. So we also have mapping, and we have a whole mapping list. We can actually map it into a lot of different things. So just to demonstrate, we can map this one into the frequency example, and you can already see that it's working on the shape that we have here on a preset. Change the shape. So this is a bit like a sidechaining effect, but a lot more controllable and a little bit more cleaner. Jitter. Already pretty cool. Smooth out the jitter a little bit. Phase effect. And the offset. You can see that it goes all the way from 20 kilohertz to 20 hertz, but if we don't want it to do that, we can actually go here where it says 0% to 100%. We can go example between 40% to 70%, go from 300 to 2K or something like that. So you can control the distance that the macro is moving with the percentage. So that's the basics of it. And now I want to take this a little bit further and a little bit more advanced situation. So we're going to create a preset of shaper that we can then customize with all these different type of macros and modulation. And we can use it in a very complex and beautiful way for whatever we wanna. Before that, I want to talk a little bit about Arcade to you. We have a chord progression and we have bass already created with Arcade. So let's open that up and have a look at what's in there. Beautiful instrument that is sample based. And when we talk about signal shaping, there's really cool options for macro controllability inside. If we go to search here, we can actually look for different kind of sounds. So example, what I went for is keys. So what I wanted to go for is this antique electric. So it already has the sample inside of it. We can change the samples by ourselves, or we can use these presets as the template for our whatever we want to do. So if we go here to the actual instruments. We can control the layer edits, mixer, modulation, macros, and arpeggiator. But what I want to do now is single shape this chord progression a little bit, go to modulation, and in there we have a LFO, creates square wave, pulse sounding effect into it. After that, we're going to go and assign the parameters into a filter. So we're going to go to a mixer, and for mixer, we're going to go to filter on the master. On the master, there's a filter frequency, and exactly like what we did with the shaper in Ableton Live, we can go assign modulation, LFO. We can also adjust the range of how much it's going to move. Pretty cool. So when I'm doing example a remix like what I'm doing here of my song Tea and Milk, I might want to use some my vocal chops on it. And we're going to use the hooked one. And that already hooked comes with a lot of different presets that you can use for different vocals. I want to add my own samples to it, drop it into one of these keys here, and it's analyzing audio file, and here we go. Sample is arrived. I like that, I like that, I like that. Okay, so let's continue with the Ableton Live Shaper. And now we're gonna create an effect rack that you can use then to even further all this. So let's go to the bass track. And it has a nice resonance, and now we just want to shape it a little bit. Let's go to audio effects, and then from there, we're gonna go audio effect rack. Okay, we're gonna get a shaper there. Let's add auto filter first. So we have audio effect, rack, shaper, and auto filter. We're gonna do exactly what we did a moment ago, map that into filter frequency, and then we're gonna go between 50 and let's say 70, something like that. Sounds cool. Go to the audio effect rack. We're gonna open up the chain list. Just drop the shaper into the drop audio effects here, so it creates the chain number 1. We're gonna put the auto filter after it. And then what I'm gonna do is duplicate the first chain we created and call it chain number 2. And this one, let's put it a little bit faster. Maybe we create a third one. We create jitter effect. We're gonna change the auto filter into gates. We're gonna map it into the threshold. And we get a lot more clearer jitter effect on it. Let's go and duplicate that again. Chain number 5. We could literally, you can add anything you want in here. The same way with the arcade, you can map anything from macros to another one and just create shape shifting. Let's just put a shifter there, shifter and shaper together. So map it, and why not map it into course. Well, let's go 50 to 100. So you can imagine how this is so cool for a lift or something. So now we're gonna map it all to be a preset. We're gonna go into the chain area. We need to now make sure that they all have their own octaves. So 0 to 32 is the chain 1. 32 to 64 is the chain 2, and so on. To be able to change them really easily, we need a couple macros to control stuff. So example, what we want is macro 1 to control which octave we're in. So what I will do is go to map, chain area gets green. So I'm gonna go here, click that, and go macro 1. And you can see now chain selector is in macro 1. So if I go away from here, you can see that I can select which chain I'm in. And here we can example put the rate. So example the number 1 rate, I'm gonna go here and put that there. So if you want, you can put all the rates into the same macro. Little lift, like that. What I wanna do here is I'm gonna just close all these. So I just had the macros. I'm gonna copy paste this, and then I'm gonna go into the chords and the bass, group them together, and add the chain into the group channel. So what I will do now is automate that in here to create us a cool lift. So here is Jitter glitchy transition into the very cool glitchy vocal loop that we created. Cool, eh? So I totally recommend you to try out creating your own audio effect rack using Shaper. Also, check out Arcade from the link down below. Hey, I also want to mention that from the link down below, you get Arcade for free for 30 days to try out, and then you get minus 50% off from your first subscription. So it's a pretty good way for trying it out, and yeah, and discount. And thank you so much for my Patreon community, for all your support. We have so much fun there, listening parties, I give feedback, we talk all things music production and stuff. So if you want to join our family, welcome to our family. Remember to subscribe, hit the bell icon, and see you next time.